Guys, most people don't realize that the action button on their iPhone can do way more than just opening up the camera or turning on the flashlight. So today I'm going to show you 2 ways to turn the action button into the smartest button on your iPhone. And once you set this up, you're going to wonder how you've lived so long without it. Let's get started. Now, if you don't want to build everything from scratch, I've linked a few free templates down in the video description. You can download them, tweak them, or just simply use them as a starting point. Now, the action button replaced the mute switch on the iPhone 15 Pro or later, but what makes this special is that you can hit this button to run any shortcut that you have on your phone. Now let's get started with a quick win. Now this one's called Action Jackson and it gives you instant access to your own favorite list of apps right on your iPhone. It's kind of like having a dock full of shortcuts right inside the dynamic island. First, open up shortcuts on your iPhone. You'll tap on folders and tap on the plus icon. And here I'm going to name it Action Jackson. You can name it whatever you want. I like Carl Weathers and I think Action Jackson is going to be the most appropriate. Once you name it, you can choose the icon. You're going to click the check mark and your folder shortcut is saved. Now, once you save it, you'll see a list of all of your folders here. Here's Action Jackson 2, but I'm actually going to go to my library where it says all shortcuts. And I'm going to go ahead and find all of my favorite shortcuts and then hold a long press on them and then choose to add them into the Action Jackson. And I'm going to do this one by one. Now you can drop in your favorite shortcuts like notes, camera, focus modes, whatever you really want to add to, but it's going to add all of your favorite shortcuts into the Action Jackson folder. Now we need to assign this folder into the action button. So let's go ahead and open up settings. Once we're in settings, let's click on the action button and then we're going to swipe to the right till we see open shortcuts. We want to go ahead and click on show folder and then it's going to give us the list of folders that we have on our iPhone. You're going to choose the name of the folder that you just created. Now, every time that you press the action button, it's going to show you the first 8 shortcuts from that folder. If you have more than 8, you can simply rearrange them in any order that you like to so they appear in the order that you want, but it'll actually only show the first 8 of them. So it's basically like a shortcut dock that lives inside of the dynamic island for your iPhone. Go ahead and just tap on the shortcut that you want to launch, and there you are. So that was the simple version. Now let's build something that's going to be a little bit more advanced, and that is your own custom menu shortcut. First, we're going to go back to shortcuts and we're going to open up the app. And then once we tap on all shortcuts, we're going to tap on the plus icon at the very top. Inside the search bar that's labeled search actions, type menu and then select choose from menu. Now this is going to create the framework for our shortcut, which is essentially just a blank menu tree with the first 2 options that are pre-built for us. Now we're going to rename the options and I like to add an emoji to each option when renaming them. For me, it's easier to scan and recognize what those different options are or what those different options in the menu tree are. Just at a quick glance, you don't need to, but that's just my preference. Now let's talk about what these options even are. For me, I use the first option here to quickly launch my password manager, which is 1Password from any screen on my iPhone. The second option here is going to be used to quickly flip between focus modes without needing to go into Control Center. And the third option, I'm going to use that to launch Claude quickly with a voice conversation or a voice dictation. Now you don't need to use my version, but going through the steps will absolutely give you a good idea of how to set this up for yourself. And don't forget the templates are down in the video description if you want to use those as your starting point. I'm going to rename the first option to passwords. I'm going to rename the second option to focus mode, and I'm going to name the third option to ask Claude. All right, next we have to wire up each option to an action. We're going to tap in the search bar at the bottom, type open app, and then drag it underneath password. We're going to tap in the open app field and then choose your password manager of choice. Now I'm using this with 1Password, my password manager, and this does work with Apple's own passwords app. I've seen it work with many different apps. You can choose whatever you want. Now, next, we're going to go ahead and tap into the search bar, and at the bottom, we're going to type in focus mode and drag it underneath the second option, which says focus mode. And then finally, we're going to tap into the search bar and type Claude. Here, we'll choose start dictation, then drag it up to the appropriate option. Now that we've built the menu tree, we're going to go ahead and test it to make sure that we get the results that were expected. And we're going to test that by hitting the play button in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll go through each of the different options in the menu tree to make sure it works. And if something fails, you can check the actions linked, and troubleshooting should be very straightforward. If you run into anything, let me know down in the comments below so I can help you troubleshoot it. Finally, we are almost done. We're going to go ahead and save the shortcut. We're going to name it appropriately and then go into the settings for the action button and then direct it towards this shortcut. So now you've got 2 ways to use the action button: the fast cycling Action Jackson button, which I absolutely love, and the fully customizable action menu that turns your iPhone into a mini launch center. And if you've got an iPad, you can check out my action menu video, which I'll link up here. It uses the same principle, just without the physical hardware control button that we have on the iPhone. And don't forget, you can always download the templates, which are in the video description below. If you want to get more iPhone, iPad, and Mac tips just like this, click that subscribe button. My name is Mike, guys, and I will talk to you in the next one.